Snow White isn't white. The couple pairing isn't the prince. And the magic mirror must be legally blind because it's straight up lying. The evil queen? Oh, she's not evil anymore. Just a cheerful, misunderstood girl boss. After watching this thing they dare to call Snow White, I was left completely dumbfounded. But let's be honest. Ugliness is actually the least of this movie's problems. Hey everyone, I'm David. Today, let's take a gentle stroll through the absolute disaster that is the new Mud Princess. Because nothing says childhood nostalgia like Hollywood taking a sledgehammer to classic fairy tales. As everyone knows, Snow White is called Snow White because when she was born, her skin was as white as snow. That's literally the whole point of her name. But in this version, to avoid any problematic implications, they decided to rewrite the entire backstory. Now, instead of her name being tied to her appearance, it's just because she was born on a snowy day. That's like a white baby being named after their black doctor just because they happen to be in the same room. As a child, Snow White was supposed to be a breathtaking beauty. But in this version, she aged like milk and came back looking like she's been through 3 wars, 2 betrayals, and a tax audit. To be fair, the actress isn't technically ugly, but wow, does she have some structural issues. Her posture is terrible, and her body proportions are straight up bizarre. An enormous head balanced on a ridiculously thin torso, topped off with an underbite for that extra touch of uncanny valley. And when she sings, it's less Disney princess and more cosmic horror. You get this unsettling feeling like a giant, big-mouthed goblin is about to unhinge its jaw and swallow the universe whole. Then, disaster struck. Her mother passed away, her father died, and without her family protection, Snow White was demoted to household drudge, personally trained by the evil queen to be nothing more than a cleaning maid. And when she finally put on that maid outfit, I have to ask, why did it fit so perfectly? How did they get the measurements that right? It was almost supernatural, like she was born with the ultimate Filipino maid physique. Then comes the classic magic mirror scene. The queen asks, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most beautiful woman in the world?" As we all know, the traditional answer is Snow White. Simple, classic, iconic, but in this version, the magic mirror is now an old grandpa who seems like he's one bad day away from retirement. He says, "Queen, your beauty is unparalleled, capable of toppling nations." But Snow White, well, she's just so pure of heart and kind. She's about to become the most beautiful woman. Excuse me? What kind of non-committal, wishy-washy response is that? It's like the mirror is just trying to avoid drama, basically saying, Snow White's got potential. Maybe next time, the queen should ask the mirror if it's been sipping on too much peach tea. The queen is furious and sends a hunter to lure the princess into the forest to kill her. But the hunter can't bring himself to do it and lets Snow White go. This scene feels completely out of place because when Snow White puts on the princess dress, she looks absolutely awful. Then, the Danish royal hunter turns out to be black. Next, Snow White meets the Seven Dwarfs. And here comes another magical twist in the adaptation. In every Snow White story, the princess is usually shown leading the little animals to actively clean the dwarf's house. When the dwarfs return, they admire the princess's kindness and are captivated by her beauty. But in this version, first of all, none of the dwarfs ever comment on Snow White's beauty. Secondly, she just eats and drinks for free at their place and doesn't lift a finger to help with anything. In the movie, the dwarfs are bickering, and Snow White comes in to mediate. At one point, she teaches them how to whistle, saying her mom told her that if you want to feel good, you should whistle. Now, who in the world teaches their kids to whistle like that? And when the dwarfs hear the whistling, they're so amazed they call it the sound of heaven. Look at how clueless they are, as if they've never seen anything before. It's almost like they've been hypnotized by the magical whistling and start cleaning. That's right. In this version, the black princess is the one whistling and directing the old white male dwarfs to do all the work. Then, the queen turns into an old woman, carrying her poison, and here comes the apple. In the original version, it's pure poison. But in this version, the queen goes through a lot of trouble to make a potion that makes you fall into a deep sleep. But as long as you're kissed by your true love, you'll wake up. This can't really be called poison. It's more like a sleep aid, maybe apple-flavored melatonin. So, Snow White peacefully falls asleep and is then awakened by her own CPE. That's right. It's not the prince who wakes her up, it's the thief. The movie introduces an original male character. Because the queen's oppression is so harsh that people are starving, a man leads a group of thieves to steal from the palace. This thief turns out to be the male lead. He meets the princess while stealing things, and they bond over her kindness. Yes, kindness again. Not a single person comments on her beauty. But that doesn't matter because this guy serves no real purpose other than being a tool to create a romantic pairing with the princess. With her awakening, there's only half an hour left in the movie. Next, we enter completely uncharted territory. So viewers, make sure to pay close attention because this is bound to flip your expectations. In the grand finale, after Snow White wakes up, she reveals that she got a tip-off. The king was murdered by the queen. Now, she's determined to overthrow the queen's rule and avenge her father. So, how does she plan to do that? Well, Snow White marches into the town alone and then starts singing, and this song has a monstrous effect. The townspeople, hearing it, unknowingly start following her like zombies. In typical fairy tales, only the sea could... Oh, so it has that effect, huh? In the end, the entire town, in a massive procession, arrives at the castle to confront the queen. The queen sees this and gives a sinister smile. She then conjures a dagger and says, "Looks like you really want to challenge me. Do you have the strength to face me?" With that, she hands a knife to Snow White, signaling her to stab her. The princess hesitates and the queen laughs. "I give you a chance, and you still can't do anything?" She then calls a guard to capture the princess and hands a dagger to a lone guard, saying, You, go and do this in front of all the townspeople." The guard's expression is priceless, like he's just eaten 8 tons of crap. You'd think even if you had to take the fall, there'd be a better way to do it. And this is when the most exciting twist happens. The princess has a special setting where her parents taught her to love the people like her own children and to remember every citizen's name. Snow White is truly a mastermind. So she stops the guard holding the dagger and says, "I remember. You're Mark. You live at number 2 River Valley Street. You used to be a tailor, and you have a younger brother who's in elementary school. He should be in 2nd grade now, right?" The guard, hearing this, is completely stunned. WW8, am I being exposed? The princess then turns to look at the guards who captured her and continues, "I remember. You're John. You live at number 4 Central Street in the commercial district. You used to be a pastry chef, and your father is also a pastry chef. Your family business has always been good, and you just recently married a wife." The guard is terrified, now completely frozen. Am I being exposed too? Then Snow White activates her destroy mode, and one by one, she starts calling out the soldiers' names. "I remember. You're Hans. Your family runs a business. I remember. You're Henry. Your family's a blacksmith." The crowd gasps. As expected, the CEO's daughter. She's using nuclear weapons like a pro. With each "I remember," the guard begin to lose ground, and then they start activating their own "I remember" mode. "I remember the king was a good man. I remember the princess used to play with my sister." The captain of the guards, completely defeated, throws off his armor and says, "I remember. This person was just leading the charge to capture and kill the princess half an hour ago." Seeing that the situation is lost, the queen flees to the magic mirror and asks, "Mirror, mirror, who is the most beautiful?" At this point, the magic mirror still stays true to its role and says, "Queen, you were once the most beautiful, able to topple nations." But the princess is not only beautiful, she has a kind heart. Without a doubt, she is the most beautiful woman in my eyes. The queen snaps. Are you really going to add those extra words?" She shatters a mirror in anger, and somehow she ends up sealed inside it. With that, the villain is defeated and the story ends. It was truly a thrilling medieval exposure operation. After watching it, all I want to say is, I remember